In this video, I'll share public speaking tips for beginners. So if you're just getting started in your stand-up speaking experience, this video is for you. So let's unpack the details. Hello there and welcome to this channel, Communication Coach. If you've never tuned in yet, this channel is here to help rising leaders increase your personal impact so you can lead the people around you with more excellence. And today we are talking about communication skills. Specifically, if you haven't had a lot of experience doing stand-up speaking, I'm gonna give you some do's and some don'ts that will help you move in the right direction. And as we talk about these do's and don'ts, I want you to pick out which ones do you think will help you the most. And feel free at any point to comment in that section below the video. So when I said do's and don'ts, we're actually going to start with don'ts and then give you the do version of it. So that's why we'll organize it. So the first pair goes like this. Don't ramble and get long-winded. Anytime a speaker is disorganized and waves all around, it's very hard to follow what he or she is talking about. And instead, what you want to do is give a nice, organized, and concise message. That means you have to take the time beforehand when you are preparing to create a nice introduction, body, and conclusion. Make sure you have clear main points, and there is a transition statement between each main point. Your audience is really gonna appreciate an orderly presentation of your ideas, and it's much more likely they'll remember what you said, and really that's the whole point of speaking to them in the first place. The next don't is don't look with your eyes in the wrong places. You want to not look over people's head or not look at the floor and not stare at the ceiling or scan around like that. What you want to do is to look directly into a person's eyes long enough to finish a thought and then move on and look directly into the next person's eyes long enough to finish a thought. One public speaking teacher told me, one thought, one look. In other words, about a sentence or half a sentence and then move on to the next person. Now, this is very difficult to do if you're not used to it. It can feel very awkward looking right into someone's eyes, but you have to gear up for this because that's what audiences want. We want people to connect with this. If you're not looking into our eyes and making us feel like we are a part of this, then you're not going to have much of an impact. The next thing you want to do is done rather than is a done. Don't clutter up all your notes with too many details. A lot of times we are tempted to jam our notes or our PowerPoints with everything we want to say. But the result is when we are nervous in the moment, we end up just locked into our notes and looking down the whole time and reading and sounding really stiff, really wooden, and you're not gonna again connect with people. So what you want to do instead is pare down your notes so that you can just have a conversational style with your audience. And again, as you're practicing, you have to whittle down those notes so that all you have is like talking points, like little grocery list of items that you're gonna talk about. And it almost forces you or at least frees you to connect with people, to look up and to have a nice normal conversation with them in your natural personality. The next don't is don't want to load up your slide with all complicated animation and text. And one of the reasons is you don't want to stare at it and read from it. The other reason is that it's very hard to follow. What's going on is your slides are jam-packed with detail. What you want to do instead is to make sure your slides are nice and clear and simple and help you make whatever main point you're making in the particular moment. A rule of thumb that I like to use is you're spending more than about 2 or 3 minutes on each PowerPoint slide, then you're probably wasting your time. And I don't recommend using more than a couple of slides for presentation. Anyway, if you're just a beginner, because people tend to over-rely on the slides and load up each single slide with way too much. The next don't is don't fidget. Don't fidget with your hands, don't fidget with your feet, don't press back and forth aimlessly because you're nervous. What you want to do instead is have nice confident posture where you stand in one place for a little while and then if you wanted to move with purpose move. Stand still another place for a while and then share another part of your message. Move for the purpose. Stand still. Send some of your message. Don't just space. Have nice confident posture. Same thing with your hands. You want to use gestures and emphasize your ideas with your hands. You don't want to fidget and put them in your pockets or play with your pen or do anything else. That's a big part of you come across non-verbally and I recommend to you when you're practicing, you work on this as well. And the last don't undo is how use your voice. What you don't want to do is speak softly. Use a lot of fillers like and and so. What you want to do instead is have a confident voice when you speak loud like to the back of the room with a nice clear tone. If you have to reach those people, the other thing you want to do is emphasize your keywords with the sound of your voice, and also pause after share a key idea or key thought. Pause for a minute silently. Don't fill it up with an or a. Pause is much more effective. So here are some do's and don'ts for beginners. Again, as I mentioned, where do you see yourself in here? Which one do you think will help the most in this list? I would love to hear your comments in the section below. So thanks, God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.